Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode on Space Engineers. So yesterday we left off, we finished our basic base that we've managed to put down. So I spent the night, I went through and mined a load more resources out of our little hole that we were digging over there. So we're all stocked up on resources. Let's just give a quick recharge here. I've also gone through and built many components as well, just to speed up any building processes that we're going to have planned for today. So the plan for today is we do need to get some ice. As you can see here, we've got lots of different components and we've got quite a few ingots as well. But yeah, main focus today, we're going to spend the first part of the episode. We need ice, so we're going to fly over to the ice lake. Not sure which way it is. Let's just finish this battery that we started yesterday. So we just weld that up so that can give us some power. So yeah, we definitely need ice and we definitely need cobalt. So it's going to take a bit of flying around. We're going to need some more hydrogen bottles as well. Let's have a quick look here. Oh, I might be able to upgrade one of our tools as well. Obviously for that we need cobalt, which we don't have, but we can do the drill and that will come in handy. So we'll build one of those. And the welder, no, again we need cobalt for the welder. So okay, we'll build some more bottles. I think 3 should be plenty. Should be enough to get us there and get back. So yeah, we're going to go hunt for some ice, and also we definitely need cobalt because my plan for today's episode is to build our first mining ship. Now I did want to build a vehicle, but a vehicle is not going to cut it where we are. So we are going to need to go straight into flying, and again for that we do need cobalt. So I will take a bit of hunting around and flying around, and oh, there's our new drill. This should come in handy. As you can see with the drills, it does show you where resources are. Oh, I nearly took my head off on the wind turbine there. I need to be careful. So let's have a little float around and see what we can see. You can generally see where the resources are on the ground. They're either in black spots or white spots that you can see on the terrain. So let's just have a look over this way. Okay, let's just glide over. Oh, there's the lake, just over the hill there in the distance. So if we just have a quick look here. There, you can kind of see the slight white spots just on the ground here. So if we move down, the drill should pick it up. Oh, and we got silicon and magnesium. So what we can do is we can drop a GPS marker here for this, just so we know where it is in the future. I will come back and dig down and try and mine some of this out. So we are going to need plenty of silicon as well for our electrical components, and the magnesium we need for the weaponry, so for the ammo and whatnot. Right, now anyway, ice. So the other thing we can look out for is you can have rocks on the surface, and the rocks themselves can contain some of the resources that you need. So if we do come across any of those, I will stop. But what I'm going to do for now is we're just going to fly over to this ice lake, and I'll see you over there. Okay, as you can see, this is one of the rocks I was talking about, and it is actually ice. And yeah, so might as well dig a little bit while we're here. But yeah, this is what they look like. They can contain any one of the resources. I think the only one you can't get on this planet is uranium. You need to go up into space for that. So yeah, let's just dig a little bit of this out. May as well collect it. I know we are on our way to the ice lake, so I do want to take a look while we're over there. And I'll see you when we're at the ice lake. So here we are, just coming up to the ice lake now. I think this looks like where I'm going to be moving my base to eventually. Oh, but it looks like we've got some resources down here as well. And what have we got here? Oh, gold. Okay, that's good to know. We're going to need some of that in the future. Let's just mark that on the map. Gold. So yeah, I think this is going to be where I want to move our base, around this area somewhere. This is quite a nice area actually. The idea being is I need to build a refueling station because I want to build some ships that run on the hydrogen. And if we build it actually on the ice and have the base nearby, I think that would be a good way of doing it. So I'm just going to fill up with ice, and on the way back I will scout around and hopefully we can find that cobalt we need to build our first ship. Right, so after a lot of flying around, still no cobalt. I keep finding the same resources over and over again. So I'm just going to drop this ice off, I'm going to refill my bottles, and I'm going to head straight back out and try and start tagging these resources. We do need the cobalt because we need to build metal grids, and we can't build the metal grids without it. So I'm just going to head off back again and hopefully I can try and get some for us. Aha! And finally, after about 10 minutes of scouting around, we finally got some. Well, so this is absolutely essential. You can't build ships without it. So I'm going to mark that on my map so I remember where to find it. And I'm going to go down and I'm going to mine the load, and we're going to get it back to the base so we can start processing. While it's processing, I'm going to go to some of the other nodes that I found just to stock up on the resources that we're going to need to finally start building this ship. Okay, so here we go. So I have managed to fill up on some silicon. I've got a load of nickel on me as well. So we're going to get that in to start processing. So yeah, we've managed to get quite a few resources on those few runs, and it's going to fund our ship build, which we're about to start. So it's just going to be a basic mining ship. I'm just going to throw something together. I'm not expecting too much from this. It's just something that we can use. We can go and mine lots of ice, even just lots of stone, and try and fill up and just get it into our little refinery here. I'm not going to try and make this base any bigger. I'm pretty much just going to leave it as it is for now. It makes more sense to focus all our building on the new base, which we're going to go and create at some point. So I'm looking to do like a large warehouse area, maybe a large refining area, and we can have our own landing platform, and then we can maybe start thinking about building ships that are going to take us out into space to try and find some of those rarer materials, and eventually we can move on to other planets. So let's just grab some resources here, and we're going to make a little start on this ship that we're going to build. I'm just going to start off by expanding the area just a little bit bigger for us so we've got a bit more space to work. And there we go. So building a ship, the first thing we're going to need to put down is a small landing gear. I'm not actually going to keep it on the ship itself. We're going to use a connector for connecting up. So let's just find one here. We don't want to start with a large ship, we're going to want one of the smaller ones. So let's just find it. There we go. So I'm just going to drop it in the air. If I touch it on the large plate, it's going to change it back into a large one. So there we go. We're going to start some framework on here. Let's just find the correct shape. And we're going to build up a bit, because we don't want anything blocking us while we start expanding the build of this ship. Okay, just need to go up a little bit. So we need to start with the cockpit. This looks like it should be high enough for us to build what we need to build. So for this first ship, I'm just looking to put a couple of drills on the front, a large cargo container, so we can store as much as we can. Hopefully when we're full we can still move. So we're going to need to put quite a few thrusters on here. Now this is going to be a lot of back and forth. I'm going to need to keep coming back and getting the resources I need. And as I said from the start, this is going to be nothing fantastic. We just need something that's going to work for us just at the start, and then we can start building things a little bit more elaborate a bit later on in the series. And there's our cockpit. So let's just try and find the pieces that we're going to need. So let's start with a battery just on the back here. So the main things to think about when building a ship is how everything's going to be connected. So as you can see, the larger yellow ports, you can put the larger pieces on. I need to get some interior plates, I forgot to pick those up. And my plan is to have a connector on the back, and then the drill is just facing forward from the front, using different attachments to get us there. So I'm hoping to put 3 batteries on here, and there's going to be quite a number of thrusters on here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump ahead and you can see how we're getting on. So I've got them first parts done. On the back here I've added a connector, and we have another couple of batteries as well, because we're going to need a fair bit of power to move this thing, especially once it's up and running. So let's just see what we need next here. So we're going to put atmospheric thrusters on this ship, like I say, because we're in an atmosphere. We'll end up using too much hydrogen if we used hydrogen thrusters. So let's just get the small ones here, and I'm just going to work out where we want them. So we want them pointing in all directions. So we need to go up, down, left and right, and forward and backwards. The backwards would be quite important when we're pulling out as well from the like the holes that we're going to be drilling. So let me just lay these down and we'll see where we get to. And one more on the back here, and as you can see I've added the connector on the back, which is where we're going to be connecting the ship to the base, so that we can use that part to transfer all of the resources through to the refineries, and also over to the well, we can recharge the batteries this way as well. Now I'm just trying to work out how to connect the drills, so I'm going to try to use right angled connectors first, but I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. It depends on the drill size, because you have 2 types of drills that you can attach. So I'm hoping we can change it to one of the larger ones, and no. So as you can see, it's got a small port on the side, and it's the same on the back. So it's not going to connect to those type of connectors. So I'm going to need to rethink this a little bit. Let's see here. I'm going to have a little play around with it for a minute, and I'm going to try and work out the best way of connecting these drills. So I've decided on these connector blocks. They have the large ones where I can connect it to the large cargo container, and then they have the smaller ones on the other side as well, which I'll be able to actually connect the drills to. Hopefully I've placed those the right way round. And let's take a look here, just to try and get the drills attached. Oh, that's going to be a bit tricky. I'm going to need to rechange the frame on that, but this should in theory work. Yeah, let's bring them out one. So I'm looking at the size of the drills, and I don't think it's quite going to reach. So let's just change this quickly. One moment, and put it that way up. There, we should have enough reach now with the drills. So we need it just to stick out the front of the ship. So let's build these pieces up very quickly. Hopefully we've got everything. Oh, we just need construction composites. Just put them into production quickly. There we go. Just see through there. You've got the smaller connectors, so that's fine. There we go. And on this side, oh yeah, the construction comp we need. So just give that a moment. It shouldn't take too long to create them. 8 more. Now as I have a quick recharge here. Going to be a lot of flying around and welding. You can get upgraded ones of these. You can get medical rooms a bit later on, but I know you're going to need gold and silver, and I think we need the bigger assembler as well to even be able to think about building one of those. So let's just get these welded up. I'm just going to rearrange the front here a little bit. Yeah, there's plenty of reach on the drills. So I don't think I'm going to get this in here. No. Okay. Let's reframe this underneath, because we still need to support the ship. It's not going to float because the engines aren't built yet. So we just need to have it touching. Ooh. So if we build that up. There we go, that should stay connected. So if I grind this out, hopefully it won't all fall off and I'll have to start again. Yeah, perfect. We can get rid of these smaller blocks and then we can get the other drill put on. So I've been welding the drills on, so they're on the front, and I've been welding onto the thrusters that I put down, but I've realised some of them I put weren't in the best of places. So I've deleted the ones off that I wanted to take off. We now have the sides where we put the conveyor junctions, and this will be a much better spot to put our left and right thrusters. So yeah, just making a few adjustments as we're going here. It's all trial and error when you're making these ships. You just need to make sure you got the key parts on there. One time I was building a ship and I forgot to put the gyroscopes on there, which helps with your turning and measuring where you are from the ground. So it's not a good mistake to make. You can spend an hour or so on a ship and you go to take off and you just go flying and crash into the side of a mountain. So I don't recommend it. Well, I'm going to carry on. It's going to take me a few minutes. I'm going to weld up all of these thrusters. I'm going to add some more thrusters on there as well and try and make sure we've got all the key elements to the ship. So I'm just going to finish this last thruster. As you can see, I've moved them round a little bit. We've got plenty on there, but yeah, starting to look very good. So we're just going to finish welding the connector on the back. This is the part where we're going to attach it to the base. From here we can transfer all the resources and get the ship charged. So just looking around, yeah, I mean, it's looking okay. So we do need to put some gyros on there. We need these because it helps balance the ship. If I can just find them. And we are going to put some lights on there as well. I'm going to need lighting, especially if we go out during the night. Let's just find them here. There we go. A couple of headlights. Oh, I need construction comp for these. I think building these will unlock some more in our tree as well, so we can build other things in the future. So yeah, there's a few things we still need to add to this ship. Like I say, the gyros, most importantly, I mustn't forget those. Also, we're going to add an ore detector, so we can see if there's any metals in the ground. And an antenna as well, that way it can broadcast out for us, so we can actually see the metals in the ground when we're not in the ship. That would be good as well. So this is just the internals of the ship. I will surround it with armour. We're going to need armour, especially for mining. If we start bashing into rocks and things, we can lose our engines, which would not be great. So I'll do all that off camera, because that will take quite a bit of time. I'll do my best to make it not look like one giant box, because it's very easy to do, unfortunately. But like I say, this is our first ship. It just needs to serve a purpose. It doesn't need to look pretty. But yeah, no, I think it's looking quite well. So let's just get a few more materials on here. Just trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So we do need a connector on the base as well. So we need to use that connector to attach it to this. So let's just get a frame up on here. Let's bring it out a little bit, like so. As you can see, there's lots of different block types that we can be using, but we're starting very basic here. Things will get a bit more complex later on in the series. So yeah, if you have any ideas on any builds you'd like me to try and do, or any way you'd like me to try and take this game, this Let's Play through, please let me know down in the comments. I really appreciate any advice you can offer. So I'm just enjoying playing this, really. It's a very in-depth game, and it keeps you thinking. There's lots of different things we can do, and I've got big plans for moving forward. So yeah, so any suggestions, please just drop a comment down in the box and I'll get round to reading them, and I'll do my best to make it happen. So let's just try and get these last few bits. So this is where we're going to back the ship onto. This is why I built the large battery on the platform as well, so we can steal the power from there to charge the batteries on our small ship. So when we're flying around and come back, it shouldn't take too long to actually get a full recharge so we can go back out. Let's get these last few done. There. So that's turned green and that's all connected up. So let's take one more quick look at the ship. So yes, gyroscopes. So I'm going to put a few on. I think 2 on each side should be able to do it. That's it. And just get the parts for these. Hopefully they're already made. Construction comps again. I have to make a stock of those ones. Right, so let's get these welded up. Four may be a bit overkill, but I always like to have more than I actually need. Especially if one gets damaged at some point, you never know. And there we go. So let's cut this off, and we have liftoff. Now, the next task to do, we need to map the buttons. So when we connect, we just want to push of a button to change how we want. So first of all, I'm going to put them into groups. So we'll have our power and save, and then we're going to do the same for the thrusters. I think the drills, maybe. I don't think we need to do the drills. No, we'll leave the drills for now. Let's just do the thrusters. As you can see, I've created quite a few. It's just so when we're charging, we can turn the thrusters off. It should save a bit of power for us. So let's need to go down and select all of these. So once we've grouped them, we can map them to quick buttons. I mean, I am using a controller to play this on the PC. I just find the movement easier than trying to fly around using the keys, but that's just the personal preference. And there. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the radial menu, so I'm just going to drop these in now. So if we do the thrust, and we can just toggle that block on and off with a click of a button. And on this one, we're going to do the battery banks. If I can find it, yeah, the power. And for this one, we're going to do recharge on and off, so you can switch it between recharging or just on automatic. Oh yeah, the connector as well. So yeah, this is going to be a switch lock from lock to unlock. And let's see how this thing moves. Yep, there we go. So now we just need to reverse it up onto there. Oh, the drills don't actually work on the triggers, so I will need to create a button for the drills. Maybe I've not connected them correctly. So yeah, let's just reverse this up, get it connected, and we'll call it a day. So I think we've made a lot of progress today. So I just want to thank you all for watching. Like I say, off screen I will finish the ship, get the armour on there, and yeah, then we can maybe go exploring around and maybe even start thinking about moving the base in the next episode. So if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to drop a like and hit that subscribe button, and I'll be releasing more content in the near future. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.